You are listening to the Superpower Radio Show with your hosts,
Mia Dawson.
and Brenda Major. And as always, we are so excited to provide a safe and supportive community for people impacted by autism. And of course, we do consider autism and other special needs to be a superpower because of the insight and the gifts that it brings out in all of us. So, Mia, it is Autism Awareness Month.
Yay!
Woo-hoo! And while we are not diagnosticians or clinicians, and we don't have degrees in autism nor of the spectrum, the information that we are going to provide will give strategies and comfort, support, and we hope some humor, especially on our show today for caregivers, to help them manage the symptoms influenced by autism.
Mhm.
We do have an update from the Centers for Disease Control.
Yes, we do.
Yes, and it is based on their report from the CDC's Autism and Developmental Disabilities Monitoring Network.
Mhm.
Now, about 1 in 36 children have been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder.
That's crazy.
It is, and
That
this
is
is
crazy.
being reported from 11 reporting sites, and it's mostly reported by the parents who have received the diagnosis. And how this works is that they monitor kids
Mhm.
for 8 years. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so these are
Okay.
kids who were born in 2012, and the reporting year was 2020. And
Mhm.
what it means is, for us, is
Mhm.
that, this is real. It should be taken seriously. There's so much that needs to be done. We need more
Yep.
funding for research. We need more resources, especially in underserved communities.
Yep.
We need more training,
Yep.
especially for those who are serving and protecting these communities.
Yep.
We need more patience, more support. And that's really why we're here.
Yes, that's yes.
Yeah,
Yes. 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 Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So Mia had this great idea to use the word autism, which was so clever, as an acronym. And so we're going to break it down. So you want to tell them how we're going to do it?
So we've got words for every letter in autism,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to pick out of our superpower radio cup. We're so excited. Yay! And then we're just going to talk about it. So whatever word we pick out, we're going to say some things about it and talk about it. And hopefully you guys get some good information about it.
All right. You want to start us off?
I am. So let's see. Out of my cup, let's see what I got. What word did I get? I got awestruck.
Ah.
Awestruck. This is a hard word because I think when I think about autism, I don't think awestruck. I never thought awestruck. I was like, I want you to fix them.
Or
And
maybe
get them
were you awestruck when you heard the news about, or has Neo done anything that's been like, wow, I didn't see that.
Yes, but I had to get to that point because I don't think I had to see awestruck in it. Because it was like, you see what I mean? It was like, I don't see nothing awesome about this whole situation.
I hear you.
And I don't understand why this is even going on. So he has a brilliant mind and just they're clever things that come out. So yes, I am awestruck now. But I can honestly say I was not in the beginning.
Yeah. Not in a good way, maybe.
Not in a good way. Not in a good way. No. So what's your word?
My word is awareness. When I thought about awareness, I thought about, those pioneers who did research and really helped bring autism spectrum to light for people, because, for decades, centuries, people were just the R word. They were just saying, well, that person is retarded. We hate that word. We don't use that word. And
We
so,
do not use that word. Yes.
right.
Yes.
So it's been pioneers like British doctors Lorna Wing and Judith Gold, who back in the 1970s in London, they did research, partly because of Dr. Wing was the mother of a severely autistic daughter, and she just really wanted to be able to communicate with her daughter.
Yes.
And hopefully she wanted her daughter to understand her, and she wanted to be understood. So she and Dr. Gold identified some key social and communication deficiencies, because prior to that, they weren't talking about it in that light. They were just saying, well,
Yes, very true.
needs to be institutionalized. And
Yes,
then, of
yes.
course, you know, the champion of all champions for autism awareness is Dr. Temple Grandin.
Yes, yes, yes.
Who diagnosed herself.
Yes.
And she has been and continues to be a key spokesperson and an expert on autism.
Very good. Very good. Okay, what's our next letter? Is it you? Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let me see what I get out of you. Okay, I have unstoppable.
Oh, good one.
Unstoppable. When I think about unstoppable, especially for all the kids with autism, I believe in their own way, they are unstoppable. In their own direct way.
Yeah.
It's not the way that we think it should be unstoppable, but they are unstoppable. They're very much focused on what they want to do. They're very much I guess the word is focused. They're focused. If this is what they're doing, if they're swimming, they're focused on that. If Neo's riding horses, they're focused on that, and they're not going to let anything stop them. And so I love that they have that determination to get it done, no matter what, and no matter how it looks. Because I think sometimes we want it to look a certain way, and we want it to be a certain way, and they're like, nope, this is the way I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get it done. And I've seen all over the spectrum, because you know autism is on the spectrum, but I've seen all those kids or adults say, I'm going to get it done. So I love that word.
That's awesome. So I have got understanding.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, our kids and adults with superpowers need our support, and they need to be understood. It kind of reminds me of one of our t-shirts, which you guys can buy it on our website, www.adventuresofneo.com. And the shirt says, listen even to my silence. Because we know that there are people on the spectrum who not only have difficulty communicating, but some who never talk.
Yes.
And it's not that they don't want to. They are communicating. And, you know, I've heard you say many times that even when Neo was small, when he lost his ability to speak, you had to really study him and to learn how to best communicate with him.
Yes.
So I would say, yeah, understanding is a good one.
And I think even with understanding too, Brenda, that patience got to come in.
Because
again, I think we have this, and I'm saying it as a parent, we got this timetable, like this need to be, come on, like move it along. And I'm talking to parents, they're like, well, how long this gonna take? When they're asking me, I'm like, I don't know. And so
everybody needs some patience with that understanding.
Yes, like, can you be, I don't know. And it's like you want it done and move on so we can move on to the next thing. So that understanding, patience needs to go in there too, even though that's not one of the words. We need patience too.
I hear you. You can slip that in there with understanding. That's cool.
Okay. Let's see. Our next word is T. Let me see what I get out of my tea, out of my mug. I got. Oh, that's not. Okay, wait a minute. Got a little mix up here. Well, did I make it blank? Okay, I got it. I got it. I have time.
Oh, good one.
So time. Oh my goodness, time. It's kind of what I said with the patience.
Yeah.
It's going to take time. Everybody's time is different. Also with time, their time, meaning our superpower kiddos, is not on our time. Just how they process, how they see things. Neo would do these things like at night. He has this whole routine, and I'm like, you need to go to bed. But there's this time of like, it's like right in between a certain amount of time, and he has to do A, B, C, D. And if he don't do A, B, C, and D, he can't go to sleep.
Okay.
And so time goes back to understanding and patience. They all work in together, because you're like, dude, we got to go to bed, or we got to get to the store and eat.
Yeah.
I don't even think, Brenda, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if they have a concept of time. It's kind of like, you're in my world, let's just
get with his program.
Get with his program. So the time is like on their time, and they see time differently, they process differently. He just there's not a hurry. And I also see that from a lot of the other kiddos with superpowers. They don't have a hurriness of like, they kind of flow. I don't know if you've seen that. Have you seen that they kind of flow?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, we have to get going. And he kind of like, he says, Mom, it's gonna be okay.
I actually noticed that at that expo that we were at, that, you know, the
Did you? Okay.
Time. Yeah.
Yes.
So my T word is triumph. And when I think about that, I think about the joy on your kid's face, on Neo's face, every time he accomplishes something. I mean, he's so excited. You know, he makes STEM and he's running around like he's about to take off. It's the coolest thing. It's just so delightful. And I mean, it's things that, you know, other people might just take for granted. Like, why is he getting excited, you know, because he spelled that word? Well, because he spelled that word.
Yes.
And you know, you can't help but want to celebrate with him. So that's my T word.
That is so true. That is so true. What do we have next? We have I. Okay, let's do I. Let's see what I. Intelligent.
Oh, good one. Good one.
So, Brenda, before I had kids, my prayer was that my children, whatever be boy or girl, would be intelligent, because I felt like, and I don't think I've shared this with our listeners, that I got diagnosed with a learning disability. And so that really affected me thinking I was not intelligent. And so I did not want that passed on to my kiddos. Okay. So my biggest, huge prayer was he has to be intelligent, and they have to be, especially academically, because I struggled academically until I got the help that I needed. Okay. So when he gets autism, it was almost like, hey, you didn't hear me. God, you didn't answer my prayer. I asked for intelligent, and he can't even talk, and he's not comprehending, and so having that, when he gets that superpower, this was hard for me, because I felt like it. Now I've seen, and he showed me that he's learning in a different way, and that he is actually extremely intelligent. It's just that he processes it different. Yeah. But this was almost like a bad word for me, because it was almost like, and I went back to what I thought it should have been and how I felt, because when I was diagnosed with a learning disability. So this word has turned out really beautiful for me now that he's 14 and I see him thriving and everything. Yeah.
Okay, that goes along with this I word, which is inspirational. You know, I just personally, super kids and super adults give me so much inspiration. I watch the amazing things that they're able to do. Yes. It gives me hope, and it reminds me about, you know, that I have so much to learn from them. You know, learning, as you said, more patience, and really learning to practice kindness. You know, just when you think you're kind, you really have to still check yourself. And so they give me that inspiration that reminds me to do that.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that I kind of watch how other people, because again, with everything we've talked about, the time and the patience and the understanding, because we are such a fast society, we want it to move along. So if Neo is explaining, we just had a situation today. He was explaining, and I can tell the person was wanting him to hurry up. And he was kind of wanting to enjoy the conversation, although it was taking him longer to get it out. But that person was kind of like, you can just see his eyes, like he was like, okay, come on. And so I feel I'm starting to really learn that, so that I know not to do that to him, or not to do that to anybody else. That they are trying to explain, and they want my full attention, and they want me to get in their world, understand what he was saying. And so we have to see that too. With it just went back. I just thought about it when we went back to the understanding. I'm like, man, when they're in their world and they're trying to communicate, we have to kind of stop and pause.
For sure.
And he kind of felt, he couldn't verbalize it, but he kind of was like, okay, I'll go. Like he knew that they were rushing him. You know, and I felt bad for that. I felt,
it makes them feel, kind of devalued in a way.
Devalued a little bit. And it wasn't that they didn't want to hear. It was like, I got to get to something else.
Gotta go. Yeah.
I gotta go.
But how many times did we do that? Or we're listening to somebody and then we just kind of tune them out. And I'm guilty of that. And I think people notice that. Yeah. Gotta do better.
Yes. Okay. Oh, my word is, we're on S, listeners. We're on S. I have stimming.
Okay.
And if you guys kind of know, I think we've described stimming as when they're flapping of their hands and they're jumping up and down. Neo also, he still does this when he gets really excited. He'll walk back and forth, pace walk very fastly, and he actually walks crooked. It's not even straight, it's like crooked.
Okay.
And so that's when he's excited usually, and he kind of can't get all those wigglies out of his body, and he's trying to control all of the emotions, and he is so excited and happy. And we actually try to help so that he won't do it in public. Okay. Because sometimes if he's excited in public, they're looking at him like, but he's excited. And so we're trying to find strategies, which we haven't been very successful, of trying to find strategies of if he's at his favorite restaurant or if he's at a movie, because he has went to a couple movies, and he's excited about the movie, and he'll just jump up and down and he'll flap and he'll walk back and forth. So and I've seen this a lot when they're excited, when they're trying to explain, when they're but that's stimming, guys. That's kind of what goes on with stimming.
That's kind of cool. I saw a shirt, I think, again, at that expo that we were at, where somebody was saying everybody stims, and they were waving their hand. Like, hello, or when you're waving across the room at somebody. And I was like, that's right.
That is. Love it. I love that.
Yeah. So stop staring.
So yes, I love that.
I do too. So my S word is strong. And I thought about you, and I thought about, some of our guests like Rosa and Deborah, and how strong you guys are. Caregivers are warriors, just plain and simple. And, those of us who support you, we kind of have an easier job because we can turn it off and go home. But you're warriors all the time. You're advocating for your superpower kids and adults all the time, to the public and even at home. So you're constantly, doing that. So strong for sure.
Yes. Okay, and our last is the M. Let's see what I got out of the M. Mentoring. And Miss Rosa talked about this on our previous show about mentoring. We haven't really got Neo any mentors. He kind of, and I actually think that's harder. I know that Miss Rosa was talking about it. I actually think it's harder because you have to see if with their superpower, do they connect? And who they connect to.
Yes.
And so there's a couple people in our life. We have a couple friends that he connects to them. He really, and so we've reached out to them, and they know that. They actually come by and visit him a little bit more, talk to him more, but we don't even know why he connects to them, but he connects to them. So I would say with this word, you kind of got to see, who does your super kid actually have a connection with? and how do they kind of vibe, and then maybe that person can be a person that checks in on them or talks to them, or because I just think it's not your typical setup when you go to mentoring. You know, when you're in a mentoring agency, they kind of bring you a kid and you kind of bond and that, but the kids with superpowers, they just gel differently.
I think
and
that's not a bad thing, because I think sometimes the best mentors are the ones that you don't plan it, it happens.
yes,
you know?
yes. And he definitely, we've never did that because I seen him vibe differently. And I was like, okay, we're not going to do a mentor because I could see him. Oh, I can give an example. When before I homeschooled him, he was in regular school, and the one-on-ones. Well, he
Oh yeah.
wasn't connecting with the one-on-ones.
Oh
So
yeah,
then
you
that
can't force the mentoring. Yeah.
you force the mentor on him. And he was always respectful because he didn't have that issue of having a behavior issue or anything, but you can also feel he wasn't connecting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this one would definitely be somewhere they will connect to somebody. I totally believe that. And so it's just picking that person out that they connect to.
Yeah. Okay, so my M word is miracle.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
And I thought about the show that we did with so many people who were diagnosed by doctors that were told, he'll never be able to walk. He'll never be able to talk. He won't be able to do much of anything. Sometimes before they realized how much they didn't know about autism, I
Yep.
think they meant well, but they were telling people, don't get your hopes up.
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
know what their
Yes.
life expectancy is going to be.
Yeah.
And you've said this a million times that it's not a death sentence. It's not going to kill you.
I'm like, it's gonna kill you. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I thought about people like the artist Stephen Wiltshire, who does
Yes.
those cityscapes after seeing, a picture one time, and he can draw
Yes.
the entire cityscape. And like the basketball player Kalen Bennett, who was told he was never going to walk, and
Yes. Yes. Yes.
played basketball in college. And then like NASCAR driver Armani Williams, who represents autism with the blue puzzle piece on his cars, which is super cool. And then I thought about your friend John Doomsday Howard, the mixed martial artist,
Yeah.
whose name
Yeah.
you aren't particularly fond of.
Oh my God. Woo! Okay.
But when you think about, what he's doing, he really wants to share his story with educators to
Yes.
let them
Yes.
know, because his experience in school was not positive, because they
Yes.
didn't understand. They didn't know what they didn't know.
Yes.
They
Yes.
didn't have the benefit of what these researchers are now able to present to help people understand autism and other similar developmental disabilities, not really disabilities, other abilities.
Yes. Other ability.
And
Yes.
if we shift our brains to think more in line with how can we best support them? How can we bring out the best in them? How can we, because clearly they are gifted beyond what most of us have.
Stefan said that all the time. He's like, are we the ones with it, or are they the ones with it?
You
Because they
know,
just, and I said, he
yeah,
said,
who's really the diss in this? It might be
yes,
us.
yes. He said, maybe it's us that's the real ones with the superpower. I was like,
Yeah.
he said, their way their brains process and how they think and how they,
Yeah.
and they don't get caught up in everything that's going on in the world. Neo is not caught up in none of the stuff that's going on in the world. He's like, oh, okay. And they don't, there's no, and of course they have some anxiety or things that go on, but it's not the same way that we have that we process the anxiety.
Yeah, they, they don't have the pity parties that we have.
No,
They just,
no,
they just keep it moving.
No. Okay. All right. Next. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're the ones that have to, it's got to be about me. Why isn't it about me? And they're just like, I'm sure even those who don't have the ability to talk, I wonder what they would say to us if they did.
Yes. Yes.
Are you for real?
Yes. 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 Absolutely.
And keep it moving.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you know what, I think now more than ever, especially as we see these numbers increasing with
Yes.
diagnoses, there's such a need for us to pause, get out
Yes.
of our own heads, get out of denial, and just champion the cause for how can we support these incredible people.
Yes. Yes.
That is really the bottom line.
Because I think you even said this was before we even started doing the show. You
Mhm.
said the numbers were going to go up. It was going to get worse.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately.
I was like, "Are you serious?" She said, "Yeah, I think it's going to get worse." And so, you know, how you're right, there has to be a push towards this, and there has to be a focus on this,
Really.
because especially, and if you catch it, I've always said that if the research shows this, if you catch it young, you
Yeah.
can get them in the where they need to be, where they can be functional
Mhm.
kids, functional adults, and they
Mhm.
can use these superpowers for and be, great for society.
Absolutely.
Um, and so you're right. If we get away from all the denial and kind of like, oh, why
Yeah.
is me? No, let's okay, if that's what it is, let's
Oh,
get it.
it's like because they're telling us, look, we're here. You're the ones who need who need to get with
Yes,
the program. We
yes,
are here and we are not going anywhere. We are going to
yes,
make this world better and you need to get on with it.
yes. Very much so. Very much so.
So we are a great place to close, especially because it's time to close.
It's time to close.
So we hope that you have gotten some insight out of this program.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so much. This was such a great idea.
Yes. Oh,
Fun.
cool.
It
I'm glad. I
was
wanted to
so
do
much
something fun.
fun.
Yes, something
So,
fun.
yeah, so listeners, we know you have questions and comments, so get on to
Yes.
our website, www.adventuresofneo.com, and let us hear from you. And
Mhm.
you can find previous episodes there by clicking our news tab in the homepage. And we are really thrilled that we are with you every Monday morning at 7 Pacific time, 8 Mountain time, 9 Central time. And on the East Coast, we're on at 10 a.m. So we appreciate you listening, appreciate your support, and we'll be back.
Yes, we will.
So
See ya.
see you next time.